Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Dana. I upload a new video every single Sunday, and sometimes I like to add a couple extras in during the week. But if you haven't subscribed to me yet, now is a great time to do so. I'm just getting into sort of a new type of video, a new like little mini series, if you will. In 2019, I wrote my first ebook called The Basics of Tea. It's sort of meant to be like a guide to the very beginning of your tea journey. Like, if you are ready to start exploring tea, but you don't really know where to start, it's just a good base of knowledge that'll kind of help you get your foot in the door and feel really confident when you go into tea stores. I always have that linked in the description of any one of my videos, so if you want to check out the ebook, it'll be linked there for you. But I kind of wanted to go into sort of a series to kind of supplement my book, and this is going to be my Basics of Tea series. I'm going to walk through the different tea types and talk about what makes them special and sort of how they are made, how they're grown, how they're processed. Just kind of meant to be a good partner to the book. If you don't buy the book, that's all right too. You can get a lot of good information here from these videos. If you want to have like some written out information, you might benefit from grabbing that as well. So for my first Basics of Tea video, I'm going to be talking all about white tea, what it is, what plant it comes from, how it's grown, just all the good basics. So I'm gonna start by making some white tea. I have this little Baihao Yinzen little like cardboard container from David's Tea, but this is an awesome basic silver needle white tea. So I'm just using a glass mug so we can get a good look at the color of a white tea. I have my metal basket infuser, my favorite kind of infuser to use, and I'm just going to be taking a scoop with my David's Tea Perfect spoon. Just go ahead and plop it in there. Got my water. Now, white tea is very, very easy to oversteep. If you oversteep a white tea, it's gonna be bitter and it's gonna taste weird, and that's why a lot of people think that they don't like white teas, because they are so easy to kind of get wrong. And you always want to err on the side of caution when it comes to steeping a white tea. So you want to use water that's not boiling, nowhere near boiling. Water that's not super hot, but more so like warm. We got our tea steeping, and we only want to give this 3 to 4 minutes. So it's 2:03 now. We want to be completely done steeping this by 2:06 or 2:05. So we'll set this aside for just a couple minutes. White tea is the least processed of the tea types and the most delicate. If you're just starting the tea journey, you might not know that all tea comes from the Camellia sinensis plant. So white tea, green tea, oolong, black pour, all of those come from the same plant, the tea plant, Camellia sinensis. Anything that doesn't have Camellia sinensis leaves in it, we still think of as tea, like things like chamomile or rooibos or even mate. Those aren't technically tea, but for our purposes, we call it tea because we steep it and consume it in the same way. But all like true tea comes from Camellia sinensis. And the white tea is the one that has the least steps between the point where it's picked from the plant and it ends up in our cup. White teas are mostly grown in China, and there are a couple different types of white tea. Today we're kind of looking at silver needle. Silver needle white teas have been nicknamed silver needle because they look like silver needles, like they're the shape of a needle. They're a little pointy, and they are beautiful and silver in color. And if you look really closely, you'll notice that it's a little bit fuzzy as well. Like the little tea leaves have like a soft fuzz on it because they're delicate little babies. In China, they grow the tea, and to get white tea, they're going to pluck the leaves gently from the tea plant before they're even fully like opened. They're just like little leaf buds basically. Like they're not fully opened leaves. They're just these little leaf buds, and they pluck them real gently from the plant before they even have the chance to open up. Traditionally, women do this job because we're stereotypically said to have more delicate hands, do like some delicate little plucking. So it's all a very gentle process when it comes to white tea. Okay, we are good to steep already. See how short that was compared to a lot of the other teas that we check out here on the channel? But we'll come back to this in a little bit because I still want to talk a little more about the making of the white tea before we start to talk about the taste and the smell and how it looks. So after those little baby leaves are plucked from their plant, all that they do is lay them out to dry. Traditionally, they're left out under the sun to dry, and all they just do is they just wither up real nice, and then we have our tea and we're good to go. But nowadays, a lot of tea manufacturers do have indoor spaces that are temperature controlled for the tea leaves to dry out inside, and it's just slightly warm. Those leaves can just wither, dry, that's it. So they're going to be completely free of moisture, but still like a little bit soft and pliable once they are fully dried. So they're just like, there's a little bit of give to them, but they're not super soft. So since they just dry, they just wither right from the point where they're plucked, they are super minimally oxidized. That's why they have this beautiful like white silvery color, because not a lot of oxidation occurs. It's just completely minimal. So they stay really nice and delicate. Since they are so minimally oxidized, they also keep a lot of their antioxidants, making white tea super beneficial to drink. All right, so now let's sort of get into like smelling the tea. White teas have such a like crispness, like they're so like fresh and crisp smelling. They don't really have the grassiness of a green tea, and a lot of the time they have like a floral undertone and like floral notes to it. It just smells so wonderful. It's like a peony sort of smell. So when you steep white tea, it's really, really important that you don't oversteep. Since these leaves are so delicate, you can oversteep them so easily, and then you get like a completely different taste that's like nothing like what a white tea should be. If you use a water temperature that's too high, you're gonna burn the tea leaves, and so you're not gonna end up with a good taste or the taste that you're meant to have. And also, if you let it steep too long, if those leaves are submerged in the water for too long, they're gonna get bitter and they're gonna get weird. So you don't want that. You gotta make sure you use 170 degrees or less of water, and you wanna make sure that you are steeping it for only like 3 to 4 minutes. You never wanna go beyond that, because that's how you end up with something that's not quite as good. As you can see, it has sort of like a light golden kind of color. White teas taste delicate, honestly. They have like a light, crisp, sweet flavor. Yeah, it tastes like floral undertones and that like crispness. So it's pretty expensive to buy white teas, and also you have so much room for error when steeping. So why would you want to try a white tea? Honestly, they're just such a delicacy. If you can steep it just right, it's so worth all of that. Yeah, that light, sweet, crisp, vegetal, slightly full. Sometimes there's like little tiny fruit notes in it. It's just so beautiful. If you're looking to try white tea blends, you'll have a shortage of amazing things to try there as well. White tea is so delicate and soft in flavor. It pairs nicely with flavors that are also delicate and soft. You won't usually see like white teas with things like cloves or hibiscus, like really heavy flavors. It's more like with light fruity flavors like peach, raspberry, pear, like things like that. Or even floral notes like jasmine, white tea with magnolia or rose, all kinds of good stuff. A whole lot of white tea, like personally. So in my personal collection, I only have a couple teas I can show you. I thought it might be kind of fun to go through. Of course, I have the one that we're drinking now, the straight white tea, which is David's Teas by Hao Yin Zen. and it says sweet, delicate, and smooth. High-grown white tea from the mountains of the Fujian province in China. This is my only straight white tea that I currently have. Another one, ginger peach snow cone from Tea by Daniel. This one is really nice as well because it does have such simple, light flavor profiles. Ginger, I feel like could be a bit heavy if it was done that way, but Tea by Daniel did such a masterful thing when they made this tea because it's that peach flavor with the white tea, which is so wonderful. Like that little peach note pairs so nicely with just a plain white tea. And it also has sunflower blossom, which another floral note. Ginger really light in this. They didn't put like big pieces of ginger. It's just part of the natural flavors in this tea. So this is one of the white teas in my collection and I really like this one. This tea has a ginger pear white tea. That's pretty interesting as well. I personally don't like pear in teas, but one of my old coworkers from David's Tea, that was his all-time favorite. So I have David's Tea's Deep Blue Spirulina. I've had this for quite a while. It's not my favorite, to be honest, because I feel like there's a bit too much going on. Like, it does have a really nice, light, crisp taste like a white tea should, but it has a lot of ingredients. It has pineapple, apple, mango, white tea, coconut, lemon verbena, licorice, moringa, spirulina, butterfly pea flowers, and natural flavor. So this is one that I probably, like, knowing what I know about white tea now, I probably wouldn't go for something like this personally in the future. I always like to grab them because I like to review them and share them with you guys and try them together on the channel. But it wouldn't be like something I'd seek out because I prefer for the white tea to like really shine through. It has a white tea blend, like a DeStefano one called Defense. And I find the same sort of thing with that. It has like a ton of other ingredients and it just kind of seems like no rhyme, no reason. A bunch of things like slapped in there to kind of help defend you when you're sick. And as you can probably tell by my voice, I've been sick this week. So I did try that one from DeStefano. And so much going on that you couldn't tell it was white tea at all. And then another that I really enjoyed that is a white tea with kind of a lot of ingredients. This is David's Tea's Raspberry Meringue. It was part of their macaroon collection a couple years back when I still worked there. And this one is like a really nice desserty white tea. Oh, it looks like there is some green tea in here as well, but the first ingredient is white tea, and then apple, mango, pineapple, green tea, sugar, sweet blackberry leaves, raspberry, chamomile, natural raspberry, vanilla, and caramel flavoring. So this one has a lot of stuff too, but they are all kind of delicate. Like raspberry and the chamomile and the vanilla. It's just so, if you are a fan of David's Tea, you definitely know this one. This is Buddha's Blend. And it has big white hibiscus blossoms in it. If you ever have the chance to smell this one, you definitely should, because it has such a sweet peachy undertone to it, even though there's no fruit in it. So as you can see, this one is mixed with some green tea as well. But you gotta love these like white hibiscus blossoms. Those delicate jasmine scented as well. So it has all those beautiful, delicate floral ingredients mixed with like that peachy floral note of the white tea. It's just so wonderful. But I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about white tea today. I'm super excited to go into the other tea types. I feel like with white tea, the process is so simple and delicate that there's not a whole lot to say. It kind of speaks. If you guys have tried white tea before and what you think of it, and what are your favorite blends that are white tea based. Enjoyed my first video in my Basics of Tea series. I can't wait to hear what you think. I hope you're all having a beautiful day and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.